What's going on? This is Judd here with Asphalt Kingdom. Stoked to be here with my good buddy, Mr. Alan Rosario, who's president and founder of Imperial Pavement Solutions. And we are literally going to dive into some of the experience around making sure that the digital presence is set up for his company to ultimately generate more leads and, of course, create the social proof that's needed when he's out there doing proposals and assessments and those kind of things. So, Alan, thanks, man, for being here with us, brother.
Glad to be here with you, Judd. Thank you for having me.
Cool. So there's been this journey, of course, in building the business. And oftentimes when we start to get involved with the business, one of the things that a lot of people forget about is the way that the face of the business looks from a marketing standpoint. And so when it comes down to branding and actually digitally marketing your company, that was something that I knew was an important part of your play, right? As you were building.
Yes, it was. Yes. I think that having the proper branding to back you up is imperative, especially when you're a new company like myself. I think that's something that goes a long way into letting the customers understand that you're legitimate. So
exactly. And so like when I think about the majority of businesses in the industry, in the pavement industry specifically, I find a lot of the time that people tend to go and buy equipment and they start to go down the path of just trying to figure it out along the way. And then they start to implement branding and they start to build out a website at a later point in time. And so from a starting point, you guys did it quite differently out of the gate. You actually went into more of that digital presence development, your branding, making sure that the face of the business was established and professional so that when you were going out, you'd actually have something for your potential customers to go back to visit. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the things that you feel is really advantageous in a digital setting that really influences your ability to convert more of those deals that are coming on the horizon?
sure. I'll break it down into two parts. I say before I got the digital branding and after. Before I got into the program, I would go out to see clients, knocking on doors and introducing myself and speaking to what services I could offer and just giving them a business card and giving them some sort of assessments on their parking lots. And I always felt, though, there was something missing, something more that I'm just knocking on the door. But okay, who are you? And okay, I see that's nice that you're offering me this. Thanks. Give me your card and I'll call you back. So I went through a lot of that before I got into the digital branding package. Once I got into the digital branding package and I was able to get a nice logo, just some nice content, an amazing website, a lot of marketing materials. I now go into these same establishments with a lot more confidence because not only can I tell them and sell my services, I also have things to back me up. And such as my website, I direct them to my website. I give them a nice brochure and all these things. They do a lot for my confidence. And what that does is it translates into more closed deals. So that's how I feel about the marketing.
And it's interesting because when we go out and we actually are going to attempt to close business, when we're going to sell and to provide value and all of these things, when you do that naked, it's a lot harder than if you're actually branded with that horsepower that provides you with more of that belief and conviction that you're supported by a brand that you've built. And so when you think about like your colors and your brand, and I'm looking at your site right now, and we'll pull that up. But when you look at it and just the copy around it, looking for pavement management solutions, it's time to contact the experts, and your call to actions and the gold and the silver and the kind of royal colors that you've got built into that imperial dominant upper echelon operating as a world-class branded company. That's really the thing that I'm sure helps you when you're out in the field speaking with potential customers. And I can tell you, like, you show up in the gear that you have, your shirt, your cap, the way that you have the printed material, and then you have the digital presence as well. And man, how much leverage is that going to give you to convert more deals? Even your proposals that you've got pumping out through AK Dash, same kind of thing. Having that brand, that horsepower, and that team to back you up is such an important thing, man. So I couldn't agree more.
Absolutely. Yes, I think it's been a big difference maker for me. Again, to be fully transparent, before I had all of these, all of this backup, it was difficult for me to approach and knock on a door. Like I said, only because other than my delivery or my pitch, what else did I have to give a potential client? But now when I do knock on these doors, I feel a lot more confident because not only are they getting it from me, what I have to offer, but they see my branding. They see my shirt. My website is there. My materials where it needs to be. My brand marketing materials. So yeah, it makes a significant difference. And I'm really happy that I made the decision to get into the program.
To power it. And what was your experience working with our branding expert, Brian?
It was great. It's so good to leave certain things to the experts. And I'll tell you, before I worked with AK and with Brian, I tried to do a lot of these things on my own, but I just never got that professional touch. When I met and when me and my partners met with Brian, he was very easy to work with. We told him what our vision was. And once we verbalized our vision, he turned it into something tangible, into a reality. And then he actually made it a little difficult for us. Why? Because he came up with a lot of good ideas. And now we're sitting here, me and my team, with all of Brian's ideas, and we just don't know which way to go. We're like, wow, they all look good. When we settled on what we have now, that was the only difficult part. But I think that's a good problem, something good problem to have. So
And I think there was also an emotional moment too when you finally picked it, right, to go forward. I heard there was a bit of emotion that was spilling out through you guys as it related to picking the brand, the way that the look and feel was going to be, and how that tied back to your brand identity.
absolutely, yeah. My partners, Dom and Johnny, yeah, we when we made the final pick, I think we all looked at each other and we all agreed without any words that, yeah, this is what we want. This is what we want to represent. And yeah, it was a very good moment when we finally made that decision, and we couldn't be happier with what we chose.
I'll tell you, Alan, there's something really important that a lot of people forget about when they're building a business. They forget about the intellectual property that is developed when you've developed a brand, a legitimate brand, one that you actually have your website, one where you have your logos that are unique, one where you have the actual visuals, the face of your business all over the place. If you were ever going to go sell Imperial Pavement Management Solutions, you would definitely know that that buyer who is looking at you would want to see and understand what it is that has been developed at a world-class level versus a company that has everyone wearing different colored shirts, different logo design. It looks like it might have been done in Microsoft Paintbrush. Having a Facebook page that isn't branded or aligned with your website, having your printouts that are different and chicken scratched versus actually having something that's professional. So I always say this, you always want to be building a business as though you're going to sell it. And so one of those things that is one of those real crucial and important things, and you can see branding for AK here, branding is legitimately that intellectual property that resides as something that will live forever with your company. And so a lot of people end up thinking to themselves, well, building a brand and building out my digital presence, that is a cost or an expense. And in my head, I'm like, man, if you're wanting to build a real company, you need to invest into that actual intellectual property that will live forever. I'm not saying that you might not change the look and feel down the road, but if you do it properly right out of the gate and you make that investment, you take your time in building a powerful brand right out of the gate, the chances of you having to rebrand later and having that cost you about 10 times the amount of money is it's the right path to go, is to do it properly out of the gate if you have the means to do that. So I want to congratulate you on doing that properly right out of the gate. And again, I often say this too, like, building a business is not cupcakes and butterflies and pixie dust, man. It's a real big thing to build a serious business. And so if you think about where you are, Alan, in the development of what you've done so far and investing into the right things, you've done that, man, and you've set that right foundation. I know that Imperial has bright horizons, man. I'm super excited. And and appreciative of the opportunity to be able to work with you on your digital presence and the branding, making sure we're taking you to a world-class level, man. We appreciate you, brother.
We appreciate you as well, you and the whole AK team, the whole team that you have behind you working on the digital branding. Excellent professionals. So kudos out to them, and thank you and AK for working with us.
We appreciate you, man. Thanks for taking the time today, Alan, and I'm looking forward to getting more of those leads that you were just talking about getting over to you. There was two church deals that you're quoting right now, right? So that's pretty awesome, man. Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm looking forward to that. The lead generation program it helped me out with that. So thank you.
Let's keep rocking. Alan, have a great day, man. Again, and people, you can find Imperial on social media. Feel free to look them up and reach out to them. And for anybody that's looking for pavement asset management solutions in that Florida area, of course, reach out to Imperial. They've got your back. They'll keep your parking lot safe, long lasting, and looking great. Thanks, Alan. Appreciate you, man.
Got it, Judd. Thank you. Have a good day.
See you, brother. You too.
Right.
Cheers. Bye-bye.